Started doing a bit of TV work and some film work, and then recently hooked up with Hal, and we worked on a play last year. And yeah, I just found the process really exciting because I'm so used to working with a locked edit where you have the same bit of film that you watch over and over and you can interpret it in different ways, but with theatre you're right there amongst the actors figuring out what the play is about, and you get so much more from that. You get a much richer, kind of deeper sort of perspective on the play really. So I've kind of approached it in a similar way to film. But as I said, that process of having immediate feedback from people around you, and also things like movement, all that stuff, because it changes every time, and you might get halfway through the process and suddenly a scene takes on a new meaning just because of the way it's been acted, or so I find that really exciting, engaging. Okay, so I use a bit of software called Ableton Live, which I use pretty much exclusively in the studio when I'm doing anything really. I use that. But the great thing, what Hal and I sort of figured out the first play that we worked on was that I'd sort of, when we do a run through, I'd sort of do like a bit like a live DJing thing where I have a load of pre-written sketches and ideas, and then I will just kind of bring those in at certain points. So I basically just have, I can bring layers of sound in, or field recordings in, sound effects, more developed bits of music as well, and I can then modulate, filter that in real time according to what they're doing. And then I guess sometimes some of it works great, other bits don't work so well, but then you just make a note of what works, and then you've got something to kind of go on. It's kind of like how I was saying yesterday, throwing paint at a wall, just see what sticks, what looks good, and then from there you can kind of, you've got a base to work from really. One of the key things that I'm using at the moment is a lot of sort of big drum percussion sounds. So because there's these gods are obsessed with war, their whole sort of world revolves around war, and so it's quite a barbarous culture, and I think I like that big taiko drumming kind of sound, or making drum sounds out of things that aren't necessarily conventional drums or percussion, but trying to create a sort of big warlike presence, but then also trying to find moments of beauty and peace as well. That's the thing. That's why it's another reason why it's an exciting project to work on. We're working in this huge space that doesn't really have an acoustic, so it's kind of a bit daunting, but also it's a bit of a blank canvas as well. So I'm hoping to try things like having these huge reverbs that then suck down to like nothing, so that you have these kind of moments of clarity or focus points. Well, I think from what Sam has got planned and what Hal is planning as well, I think it's quite an immersive world, and it's quite terrifying as well. So I think we probably want to make people a bit terrified, but also show some of these kind of inner emotions that are sort of suppressed. And there's all sorts of things that a lot of people can relate to. There's struggles within the family, and there's lots of personality clashes, and what seem like larger than life characters actually have all these kind of very fallible human-like flaws, and so I think hopefully we're creating something that will resonate with people, and they'll be able to relate to some of these characteristics, but also create a really exciting and new space, a new world that will blow people's minds, hopefully.